So, Dr. Parrott, we're here today, and yesterday we posted the update to our plan, and there's been some concern and some questions about what that'll look like, and you called me last night, and we kind of discussed about maybe modeling some things to put people at ease. And today what we're going to do is we're going to kind of model what it's going to look like in a classroom, what it's going to look like when a student comes in, what it's going to look like, as somebody takes a temperature and stuff like that. So take us through a little bit at the beginning of the day how that's going to look.
Okay, and I'm glad you asked that question. I think one of the things we need to do is we need to make people understand that even though we're putting all these safety precautions in place, we're still going to be able to have school. We're still going to be able to function as a school and things like that. So I am excited to kind of just walk you through what a day might look like.
Yeah.
And if we're kind of doing some things just a little bit different right now, because if it was a Monday morning and students would be getting their temperature checked before when they get out of the car or they get off the bus. But today we're going to do it. We're going to ask Mr. Harold to help us because we're actually going to do it inside today.
Yeah.
Okay?
So let's talk about the mask real quick, because kids are getting out of their cars.
Yes.
They're getting off the bus. They've got their mask on to enter the building.
Yes.
The next thing they're going to do, go get the temperature. So
Yes.
let's see what that's going to look like real quick here. So.
36.3, you're good to go.
Good to go. Hand cleaner. Got my hands clean. I'm ready to go to class.
Yeah, so the big thing is temperature below 100.4.
Yes.
So the next thing that Dr. Parrott and I are going to talk about is how the children are actually going to go from class to class. What is it going to look like in the hallways? How is that going to be different from what looked last year? So Dr. Parrott, the hallway looks a little bit different this year. It looks a lot more like a highway than anything. We've got directional arrows on the floor as well as this line in the middle that kind of divides.
Yes.
Tell us what the goal of that is to achieve for our kids.
So when we look at our guidelines for the safety and health of our students and staff, it says that we need traffic going in one direction. We don't need those to intermingle. So that's what Mr. Harold and his staff has done here at ACCTC. They put arrows on the floor and they put a divider, and they've said, hey, everybody stays on this side going this way, and you stay on the right side. Kind of like you said, It's kind of like a highway. Right. As we walk by, something too is that in our school system too, we will not be using these water fountains. We will be having these, I guess you would say, taken out of service, but they would still have the water bottle filling stations. We're going to make sure that all of our schools have water bottle filling stations because it's no touch. You can just put a water bottle up there and it'll fill it up.
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit before about water fountains. That may be something that actually disappears during the pandemic, is that that is one of the places that you can actually get it very, very easily because people's mouths are there. There's a lot of transmissions of different things there. So just hallways are going to look a little bit different this year.
Hallways are going to look a little different. It's going to be, and while students are in the hallways, just like us, we're going to have a mask on.
Absolutely.
They are required. We do know that there's debates on either side, but what we've been told and what I believe is anything we can do to lower the risk of someone catching COVID, me giving it to you, you giving it to me, a mask is that way to do that.
Yeah, I think through all the talks and everything we've done, the big message that we've sent to everybody is that when we open school as Anderson County Schools, we want it to be the safest place that they can be with their kids, with our staff and our teachers. This is a clean environment. We're welcoming them back. We're going to do our best to educate them and, of course, keep them safe as well. So let's talk a little bit about the air ionizing systems in the classroom and our energy management project that we had last year. Right. Tell us a little bit about why that is such a benefit. And we didn't even know about this pandemic last year when we did it, but why it's such a benefit what we did last year.
If you want to, let's walk down to the classroom and we'll go from there.
Yeah, let's do it. So as students enter the classroom, they'll have their mask on until they actually get to their desk. Once they get to the desk, they can take their mask off here for instruction. And one of the things we were talking about in the hallway, Dr. Parrott, was the air ionization systems that we had installed over the course of last year through our ESG project, and the benefit that those will actually have in the cleanliness of our air in our schools. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, and Ryan, the same thing too, as a teacher enters the classroom, they have that choice. If they have a choice and they want to keep their mask on all the time, and that makes them feel more comfortable, that's totally up to them. But if there's social distancing, like we said, then they can take their mask off. And a lot of classrooms, they'll actually have a tape line so they know that those students, if they're coming across that line, they have to put a mask on, or if a teacher goes across that line, they would put a mask on. So all of those things that we can do have changed this year. But yes, I'm glad you asked about the INI system. In our long-range plan through our school board, back even before I became director of schools and Larry Foster was the director of schools, they started looking at how can we make the inside air and the cleanest we can in our school system. And one of the ways to do that is to not only pull in outside air and remove the inside air, but also to clean that air. And an air purification system, it's an ionized system. So as the air comes in, it has been, these positive ions go into this, into the air. And the research has proven that in 10 minutes, without doing anything in this classroom, over 85% of any virus is inactive. At 15 minutes, it's like 92%. But at 30 minutes, 99.45% of any virus is inactivated. So as you're sitting here in class and in high school, it's a 90-minute block. That classroom has been totally cleaned 3 times while you're sitting in class. So we're really excited about that. And that had nothing to do with the pandemic. That was just, hey, that's what's best to do for students. The better the air is in a classroom, the better working environment, the better teaching environment, a learning environment, And with our systems now, we not only monitor for temperature, we monitor for humidity, and we monitor for CO2 levels. So all of those things can be monitored, and our management system, our director of maintenance, Mr. McCamey, he can monitor every air conditioning in every classroom in every school. And he sets certain thresholds, and when it gets to a certain threshold, it will give him a warning sign, and maybe it's too hot in the room, or there's too much humidity, and all those things he can change right from his computer. So we're really excited about that. We're also excited about, and I don't know if we call them shields. There's a lot of names for them. But as we tried to, again, figure out how to make our environment the safest, me and the director of CTE got an email from one of our other teachers, and then I got one from my daughter, and she says, hey, can we make some type of shield where if we've got a person at a desk, we can set 2 people at a desk instead of 1, and they can be safe without a mask. So these are kind of that prototype. We're going to have these available in every class. As you know, this one would be when a teacher is across from somebody. You can still put materials under it. This one is more, it goes off the table to where if you're sitting, students may lean back. It gives them that extra safety feature. So we're going to have these available in all of our classrooms. We're actually working with our director of nutrition to put some of those in the cafeterias so people could sit across from each other. So it's all about the safety of our students.
So the classroom's going to look a little bit different. There's always been sanitizer there, but there's going to be a huge focus on having and making sure that it's stocked in every single classroom. If you look in this classroom, as students enter or exit, they can actually use this hand sanitizer to make sure their hands are as clean as possible without washing. It's no substitute for washing, but it is something that we can do to help too. So one of the things also, Dr. Parrott, that we have is something that you have right in front of you. Tell us a little bit about that.
So every classroom will have sanitizing wipes. And so these will be used from our students will be able to use these, our teachers will be able to use those. So if they've done some things like we're in a health science laboratory, they may be using certain types of equipment. So we're going to ask the students, once they get through with that equipment, to wipe it down. These are very safe. They're not a Clorox based, they're not an alcohol based, but they are a good sanitizing wipe. So that's going to be a little different. The other thing that once the students leave this classroom, all of our schools are equipped, our custodians are equipped with I call it a spray mist. And it's a sanitizing gun that you'll come in this classroom, you will spray everything in the classroom, and within 5 minutes it's dry, and it's killed, another thing, it's killed all the virus. So we're really deep cleaning every day.
Yeah.
So those are things. Some other things we're looking at doing is we'll have the teacher open the door. So when the students go to class change, they won't have to touch the door. They'll be able to go out and be clean. And the other thing in the hallways, we're not going to have lockers this year. So our students, you know, what is great about our school system is we're one-to-one. So everybody's got a computer. We don't have a lot of big textbooks anymore. So they'll be working online in the classroom. They'll be working online at home. So all of those things help to kind of minimize the surfaces that individuals touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're at ACCTC, Anderson County Career and Technical Center. It's one of the best CTE programs in the state. Our director over here, he's working, Mr. Kelly Myers. He's actually the director of transportation too. But me and him kind of come up with this design, and then we got all of our T&I people. They're over here working, building them for us. So, you know, when we talk about having all hands on deck, it doesn't matter that we've got one person that's one of our engineering teachers, our machining teachers, our construction teachers. You know, everybody's working to help. And a lot of these will, the biggest majority of them will go to elementary and middle schools. So we're excited about what they're doing. We're also excited about Ace Hardware. They've really worked with us to get our material in, because, you know, when you're ordering all this material, it's not something that's just laying around. So we're excited about that, you know. And you know, the other thing is, when we look at these, when we were going to purchase these, some of them were $30 and $40 a piece. And we're being able to manufacture these for less than about $8 or $9 a
That's
piece.
great.
So not only are we making our students safe, we're trying to save the taxpayers a little money.
Yeah. So I guess the big thing that comes out of this is that school is going to look the same, but it's going to look a little different and be a little bit harder in some ways than it was before, but for the safety of everybody.
Yes.
And I think, you know, sitting in all the meetings that I've sat in with you and the administrative team, it's really shown me that the employees of Anderson County and the leadership of Anderson County cares so much about the safety and the well-being and education of our students, that we're making all this effort, these hands on deck, the countless meetings that are happening, the people coming in that aren't even getting paid right now during the summer. So big thing is to us is that, you know, to get school to start, it's a big effort, but it will pay off because we're keeping our kids safe and we're educating them.
Exactly right. When we talk about our mottos, every student, every day, we truly mean it. It's not just about every student every day, it's about every staff member every day. And our plan, you know, has been updated throughout this time, but one thing hadn't changed. We're going to start school in person on August the 10th, and we hope the parents understand that it is about the safety of their children, but we're about the whole child.
Yeah.
And that includes a lot of things, but at the end of the day, you're exactly right. We're going to do what's best for Anderson County students, and I hope they will trust us. They've trusted us before. No, we've never been through a pandemic, but we're going to do the best we can and hope they trust us through that.
Yeah. And thank you, Dr. Parrott, for spending some time with us today, kind of helping ease those concerns of the different things that are going to be in the beginning of school. And I guess we'll see everybody on August the 10th or their staggered day.
Yes, that is exactly right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.